influences on some of these supports. We got to get this anti-heal or this healing cut down as soon as possible if I'm on the side of UNG.
I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia State pulls out a Cursed Ankh in this terms of second relics for the solo laner and the support. Upgraded Ankh does great damage. It cuts down, rather, UNG picking up the Cursed Ankh.
Sure, sure. I mean, either side, really. I mean, you got a Vamana to worry about on one and King Arthur on the other, yeah.
Just starting into the game here, we do see GSU going to their normal areas. We do see the Surcat hovering in the backside of UNG's jungle to make sure that there's no cheeky invasions going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of them over there by this speed buff. Normally the solo laners moved on by now, but there's been a lot of invades right now. That's kind of popular, is for the supports and the solo laners to kind of harass the jungler and stop them in the normal jungle path. So just want to make sure everything is A-okay. And it looks like, at least on the GSU Panther side, on the Chaos side, everything should be fine.
If everything is ship-shape, we do see the Cudgel coming out for Kurnanos.
Right.
Kedris 21. A Runeforge Hammer build, it works well with the CC he brings with his first ability and his Bramble Blast, as well as the RDO CC. So I wouldn't be surprised if a Runeforge Hammer is paired, but we do see some aggression into dual lane early.
That's right. Avantgade is already in some trouble. He's had to fall back after taking a bunch of free poke from this Kurnanos, it's Kedris that's playing that over here in the dual lane. They're going to head right back to their own purple buff right away. That's interesting. A lot of the times when you see dual lane establish pressure, they go right to try and take the purple buff invade for themselves. That way they can have control of both on that side. But right now, North Georgia playing it safe.
I do think that can be attributed to the fact that North Georgia doesn't have the vision on junglers. The mid laner was pressured out of her wave on this Scylla due to the Poseidon. It just wouldn't be too safe if they were rotated upon. A 4-man rotation early could spell disaster for a dual lane and just compound and just hemorrhage, if you will.
That's right. Dual lane could be one of those lanes where once you start losing pressure, it can be so hard to get it back. So nothing wrong, I think, with playing it a little bit safer, as you did highlight that Runeforge. In fact, we should stick with the dual lane. I think this Surcat has some ideas for a gank, and she absolutely does. Avantgade falls. That's first blood on the side of North Georgia. They're already on the board, and they want more. They get the second kill as well, as Kedris is able to get his second kill.
You did see the Surcat hovering in the left side jungle.
Yeah, she was over there.
An early level 3 gank, most likely level 2, and then became level 3. And the Blink was not used in that engagement. We do see that the sprint and beads were used by the dual lane, something that will be crucial for them to be able to get away should another gank come. Those are down for another 100 seconds, so this should be a lane ripe for the picking. They should be looking here. They do have the solo lane pressure, but that's because it's King Arthur.
That's right. He gets it almost for free. But that gank can feel so difficult to stop at times when the jungler goes to red buff, or from speed to red, then to back harpies, and then they come over right, even before the 2-minute mark, right around there, and they're lurking before you have a chance to back and buy wards. All you can do is just try and position safely in that moment, but great timing coming out from this Surcat, able to get their team on the board with a quick gank. And like you said, holding on to the Blink too, so she might even look for some more.
We do see that the junglers are just doing their normal rotations, nothing coming out of the ordinary. We do see some wards on the left side of the map near the Gold Fury pit. Buffs should be coming up shortly. Nothing is out of the ordinary here. We do see that Vaman is pressured out on the right side of the map in the solo lane.
I do want to take a look at these hunters. We talked about how we're going to be seeing the Runeforged Hammer for Kedris on the Kurnanos. Since he's doing that start, very likely, it looks like he did go back and buy tier 2 boots already. Do you think he'll be in trouble in sustain in this lane, as there's another gank attempt for Duo, but with that RDO dash, they'll be able to get out of there. So do you think the sustain disparity might be too strong in that lane?
I do think there is merit to the spring stance of Kurnanos when he's using his first ability. It's something that works really well. And we do see Marcus Zylark on this RDO falls because Rice stuck around. You don't know when the jungler is. You don't have vision on that part of the jungle. It can be dangerous, but we do see the Blink coming out from Rice onto the Scylla. The beads are used, but she does not manage to get away. 4 people over on the side of GSU in the backside of UNG's jungle clean up the Scylla, who's already behind.
Yeah, that's scary when you have that many people on your side of the map. But I think in that situation, you just got to make sure that you give up your buffs if you're North Georgia. There's no reason to go for the contest as the Abduct and the Root are both off the mark, and all of that should spell a survive for this Kurnos. If any of those CC lands in that situation, that's a very dead Kurnos. That's an easy kill for GSU, but they couldn't catch either one of them. She's just got to make sure that he's watching those a little bit more in the future.
That's true. What you were saying earlier with the sustain for Kurnos, Spring Stance, it's good. I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up some other lifesteal item later on. It may be a Bloodforge to round out a build, or perhaps an Aussie to get some attack speed online. But we do see the attack speed boots, the Ninja Tabby for itemization for Kedris 21 on this Kurnos.
Ninja Tabby feels good, especially on Kurnos. No attack speed stem in the kit, so he's got to make up for that attack speed deficit somewhere. Though to be fair, in this matchup, it's not as big a worry. But this King Arthur is setting up for another gank. Serket making her presence felt over on the solo lane yet again. King Arthur trying to help lock this one down, but he might be in more trouble than he bargained for, as he is finally running away, and the Vamana can't quite lock him down. Look at the extra movement he's able to get from using his abilities. He's out of there.
And we do see the sustain coming out from King Arthur. He had his Warrior's Blessing, his Glad Shield, and his Pots and Chalice, but we do see a kill coming out for Horn Hero, rather onto Horn Hero by Zuragod on this Poseidon. Mid lane, just constant pressure is being applied. We do see that the ultimate was used, the Kraken was released, and Scylla fell for it.
Unfortunate for this Scylla in the middle lane. You gotta have some kind of vision there, or playing safe. It looks like really what happened is he just fell in the 1v1. So just the kind of thing you can't have happen. We did talk about it though. Scylla can struggle in this early game sometimes to clear, especially against someone like Poseidon, who has two very good wave clear abilities to his name. So maybe until later on, Horn Hero might need to pump the brakes a little bit and just kind of play safe.
We do see that he went for a less greedy start, if you will, with the Mage's Blessing Tier 1 Bancrofts.
Right.
And he went straight into his cooldown boots, made sure that he's able to clear the wave as soon as possible, make sure he doesn't take any unnecessary engagements. We do see some shuffles in the solo lane, rather. Vamana is falling low, but he does have the Colossal Fury, and he's going to use it.
That's nice for King Arthur. That trade's going to favor him almost every time, I feel like, because his ultimate is on such a low cooldown. He's basically just going to be able to use it again once he's built up enough energy. So as soon as that comes around, he'll have that Vamana back up in the air again. But now some trouble in mid lane. That's a really good tidal surge for the self-peel and avoids the root, which means he can keep going right into the Kraken, right into the knock-up, and that's right into the kill from Rice. Horn Hero falls for the third time this game.
Horn Hero got too aggressive there. He was feeling himself. You see, Foliages was going for the jungle game. He misses. He misses the Sikkim for the follow-up. We do see the speed buff invade, and Foliages falls. His speed buff is taken by Rice on this jungle. There's further in the lead. We do see it's about 1.5k gold right now, and we do some freezing coming out for the dual lane, denying some experience and farm to make sure that this lead grows even bigger.
Just got to make sure that you're falling further back. That's been a problem for everyone in this game so far. It's just overstaying and not paying the other teams enough respect in the situations where you no longer have the advantage. They've been getting punished for it on the side of North Georgia. Right now, GSU, though, still have the advantage. About 1,600 or so gold out in front, not just leading in kills. They're leading in terms of actual farm on the map as well. So North Georgia, especially in the middle lane, Horn Hero, they've got to start calming down and make sure they don't get caught out.
So perhaps they could let Ardio leave the dual lane early, let her defend with Scylla, but we do see a skirmish coming out on the left side jungle. The last breath is used to chase down Rice, but the sprint is popped. The up depth is good. We will see whether or not Shia on this Khepri gets out.
And it looks like he should be able to. They committed it quite a bit, but they couldn't quite lock him down, so she is able to make it out of there. He went, it looks like, with the tank boots as well to start this build path also. Guardian's Blessing paired with that, and a sprint upgraded. Usually a Khepri can make it out of those kind of situations.
That's right. In terms of itemization, we do see that boots are online for both mid laners. They're still resting on their laurels, if you will, with the tier 1 of their, I guess, core items. And then we do see that Avant-Garde on this Shibalanke is electing to rush his Devourer's Gauntlets. And Scylla at this point is scared of the kills.
There's too much pressure from Rice. He's able to set up the execute too. It's so much damage. He has Crusher and Warrior Tabi online, and what's a poor bear supposed to do in the middle lane all by herself? That Ardio just gets caught out.
The Apex Predator has become the hunted now. We do see grouping on the speed buff. Looking for another invade. The Scarab's Blessing is used.
Using that Scarab's Blessing aggressively and lives through the damage coming out from Horn here as well, but he will fall to Foliage, who comes in to make it 1-for-1 at the very least, so that the jungler gets traded out for the mid laner. But she's just not done just yet. They want to try and catch out this low health target in the back line. King Arthur spins his way to victory, and they are indeed able to take down the Serket. And now with this dub from the Khepri, the Whirlpool as well, Colossal Fury not quite good enough. Zuo God gets another, the Poseidon showing up big.
With that, you just see a good team rotation.
Yes.
The Kernanos wasn't there. The Scylla fell early. I mean, the Scylla, she's been picked on this whole map. The Colossal Fury, I'd say, from Saffron, was not used early enough. He used it as a last-ditch effort to get out, which is something that he could have used to help swing the fight in his team's favor. In terms of ultimates, we did see the Darkest Night, the Fatal Strike, and the Scare's Blessing used. Rice almost fell on the backside of that fight there, almost walked back into the crush from the Scylla, but he's managed to stay alive thanks to his team peeling for him, and we do see some grouping in the left side jungle.
It could be a potential gank attempt, but looks like they're going to stay back at least for now. Right now, you've got to, these two teams, or in particular North Georgia, have got to start giving up more of their jungle when they're getting that pressured out, because you're going to lose your jungle either way. We've seen that. Now you don't want to also be losing your lives, and that time you could be spending farming on the map as well. So they've got to start playing a little bit more defensively. If they keep forcing the issues, they're multiplying the lead for GSU and making things even harder on themselves.
We do see that right side jungle,
okay,
lots of vision, but we do see a leash onto the Gold Fury. They are unaware of this because GSU has the Oracles. They have vision all around the pit, and they're just backing now. We see the Colossal Fury using solo lane and engagement for safety, and GSU is able to pick up a Gold Fury for free, the first objective of this map, barring the Totems of Q.
That's right, an easy objective now for GSU, as no one came in from North Georgia to try and contest, though it looks like there might be some action around this blue buff on the solo side of the map. It's Zuo God who's pushed in aggressively, trying to start the fight, and they get away from the crush and most of the damage from the Vamana, so they make out like bandits, strip away the objective, or at least the camp, and they fall back. But I don't think they want to fall back. They've got this Scylla who comes right back down into the Kraken. Dark Claw cleans it up. It looks like we might have a brief moment coming out. We got to get everything sorted out for these players, but already GSU looking like the stronger team.
We did see the last breath used in that engagement onto the King Arthur. It cuts down all the healing that he's able to get with the Warrior's Blessing and the Glad Shield, but it's just not enough to take him out early on. We do see that the I'm a Monster is used, and then the Execute is good onto Saffron on this Vamana by Rice. Now they're just hunting the bear, chasing her down. The Quarry is good, the Abduct even better.
Yes, sets up another double kill for Rice on the Achilles. 7-1-1. That's exactly what you want to be seeing from your jungler.
You see a scuffle out in this duo lane. Profil on this Avant-Garde. Shibalanke able to solo. The Wild Hunt is used. The Darkest of Night is used in response. We do see that GSU is able to pick up the Pyromancer. At this point, UNG is licking their wounds. We did see the Serket at the back side of that engagement pick up her speed buff, something that she hasn't had for a while. And we do see that both objectives that were currently easily done on the map have gone to side of GSU. And they haven't been able to respond in any lane. The mid lane has had too much pressure into it for UNG to make a push into it. We see the blink coming out for the Serket in the dual lane, but the Kraken is too good. Serket crippled, her mobility is gone, and she's a sitting duck.
Yeah, that's half her kit that gets taken away from her when she's not able to use her mobility under the cripple effect. Deathbane and the ambush both off the mark. She blinked in aggressively too, or at least Foliage just did, and unfortunately for him, Zuo God, who's been across the entire map all game long, was right there ready and waiting. He's got Chronos Pendant, Mage's Blessing, and the cooldown boost. That's 40% cooldown, and when you add in the Chronos Pendant passive, even more. So he's going to be able to have every ability you can want online constantly. It's been a nightmare so far for North Georgia.
What I do like coming out from GSU is the Chalice of the Oracles, something that is a lesser bought item
They've got
now,
a lot of them,
as opposed to Season 5, where it was an introduce, and then you saw everyone picking it up. It seems to be a trademark thing where they all coordinate, but some skirmish going down to duo lane, rather the solo lane.
Yeah, some trouble for Saffron. He's been caught out already. Dark Claw is the one that gets the final hit, and now a 5v4 in favor of GSU Panthers. And as they've done all game long, they're going to continue to exert this pressure. They've zoned away Foliages on this Serket, but I think my boys would be better suited to try and focus this tower. Kills are good, but let's go ahead and burn down these objectives as well as the tier 1 and right falls. That's 500 gold for the team.
You know, we do see that they played that engagement pretty well. They effectively baited, and Saffron fell because of it. The Colossal Fury was used, but once again, used a bit too late to make the regen and the health shield worth the effort, and the Kraken comes out again as though it was just used on the previous engagement. That 40% cooldown is just too good.
It is too good, and this Kraken doing plenty of damage. Level 15, highest level in the game is Zuogod right now, and I think he might have earned that God part of the name with the performance that he's put on so far. And they're continuing their aggression as Rice finds foliages elsewhere on the map. The Circuit will fall. Let's come on back and get the tier 2 as well at 1,500 global gold. And at this point, if you're the Vamana, you must give up on this. There's not much you can do here to defend.
You've had your time. You've had your time in the sun.
Right.
You've glowed golden a few times, but just not long enough to make the difference. We did see a skirmish go down in the duo lane, but nobody died out of it. Both hunters went low. No ults used, no team rotation because GSU was barreling down the right side, getting to tier 2 tower.
Well, Spear of the Magus just completed for Zuogod. I love the fundamentals on this guy to make sure he's getting his pen in that third item slot. I just don't know how much it's going to matter. There's no magic defense that I can recognize on the board yet for North Georgia to try and keep them alive against this Poseidon. No wonder he's having a field day. There's no one built to stop him.
You're effectively doing true damage at that point.
Right.
The protections that are built into the base kits just might not be enough. And we do see the tier 1 tower and left duo side falling. The abduct to stop the RDO from coming in to help her hunter.
Avantgade gets the first kill, and they're not done yet. They're going to find the RDO, Cripplefield or no, and take him down. And looking to complete the solo over on the right-hand side of the map is Dark Claw on the King Arthur. So that's a lot of healing coming out from the Vamana. I don't know if it could shut all of that down as he sticks to him quite nicely. There's no tower in sight for him to run to, and the Vamana falls back, ceding over lane dominance to this King Arthur.
Yep, it's just the way that the cookie crumbles at this point. Saffron on this Vamana. He's doing his best. He's trying his darndest, if you will. And we do see the Panthers picking up the Oni Fury this time, a new Fury added this season.
That's right.
And they're able to secure all the objectives on the map at this point. We do see that coming out. It's just the big baby is just not enough at this point.
Not been enough at all, I would say, to compare, as GSU so far have been able to do whatever they want in this game. A 13,000 gold lead is quite commanding, and once they group up and go for this Fire Giant, they should be able to start pushing down some rest of these towers. But to be honest, it's still so early in the game. We're 16 minutes, 30 seconds in. It's not as if this has been a lengthy match. They have just controlled every single camp on the map. They've been able to get kills wherever they wanted to. And at this point, the options are so limited for North Georgia. I think at best, they can try and hold back at these Phoenixes and try and hope Horn Hero gets a miracle ultimate.
That's quite true. The I'm a Monster resets would be a boon, a godsend to these teams, but you do have Zuogod on the other side shutting it all down since the very beginning.
He has been. As now there could be more trouble for this Kernanos. Kedris hasn't had the best game so far. Rising Jaguar used aggressively to cut the distance, and that will set up for Avantgade to clean up the kill. But do they want a little bit more? It's really just the Sill here who goes right into the I'm a Monster looking for the Miracle Ultimate I mentioned, but even the Scarab's Blessing there, just no chance that it's going to be able to come through. Crush, not enough either. And now the Cavalry has arrived, and GSU Panthers can continue to push.
We did see the teleport coming out of Saffron there. The Aegis and Scarab's Blessing used for Avantgade on the Shibalanke. So he got the movement speed to get out of the I'm a Monster and still used his Aegis. And all the while that was happening, we did see Scylla come around from the backside ready to do that. So it is great awareness from the Scylla, knowing that the teleport's going to come in from Saffron. Horn Hero is going to be able to make a great splash onto the enemy team, but it just wasn't soon enough.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at Avantgade's build, and he's got this Ickvile in that third slot. And it's a bit curious to me because Ickvile is like it's a bridge item that you want that's really good for dueling, especially in the 1v1 with other hunters. But when you're this far ahead, I feel like you can just go ahead and put Executioner in that slot. There's no reason to slow down the build path that way. I'm just a bit curious for me.
Yeah, I'm sure that he meant perhaps to increase his objective shred. The increased power that you get from it would be able to get the Gold Fury, the Fire Giant, the Pyromancer a bit more easily. And once he gets his Executioner online, he has the Balance Blade right now. I'm sure it'll be a quick and easy Fire Giant. We do see some grouping now. They have the Vision. But on the other side, we do see the Aussie picked up for Kedris 21 on this Kernanos, in pairing with his Runeforge Hammer and the Lifesteal in his Spring Stance. he should be able to box easily, even without having to Devourer's Gauntlet. And we do see that the Fire Giant has gone at 18 minutes, not even 20 minutes into the game, and we do see that the Fire Giant has fallen in favor of GSU.
Yeah, not too big a surprise with the way that GSU have been playing the game so far. They've earned every bit of this lead they've earned for themselves, and now they can grab the Tier 2 tower in mid, even can make that opens up plenty of space for Rice to come over to the solo side and push this wave up. Very optimistic there from Folages that he'd be able to go over and slow down Rice at this point, who's been able to do exactly whatever he wants to all game long. As Kraken was expended, I'm a Monster comes out too, but neither one of these mage ultimates get what they want, but Dark Claw's the one that comes out on top. A double kill for him as he takes down Horn Hero as well. Now it's only 3 members left to try and defend, and I might have spoke too soon. Zylark is low and just barely making it back to the grave. Fola just falls as well, and I think that might just be the game with Zoogod getting their 4th kill. It's only Ketris left.
Yeah, we did see on the end of that engagement, Rice on the Achilles was able to get the right side Phoenix. They've pushed minions in. These are Oni minions as well, because they got the Oni Fury earlier. We don't see the Xe come out, but we do see that the Mage is blessing, and the Spear of the Magus is making quick work of this Titan. And GSU is able to end match 1 against University of North Georgia, a sound victory. Almost under 20 minutes, but not quite.
Essentially, right? A very, very impressive performance from GSU. And a lot of it, I'm saying, has to come down to this Achilles and this King Arthur. It is a little bit too much to let the King Arthur through. He's able to have a very comfortable game. But it's not just him. That Achilles with that aggressive early build, no defense at all. My man was pure damage. That is, when you're letting him getting away with that, that's just too much.
Not the hybrid builds you're used to. You might see a Rune Forged or something. He has CC. I mean, you might see a Void Shield, maybe even a Blackthorn Hammer for the 450 health. It's just full glass cannon, the Hasten Katana at the end.
That's right, yeah.
It's all right, and it's just great work, great team coordination, and with that, we probably have some replays, some highlights of that game to show you.
Yeah, if we can take a look back at some of those best moments from the game, I'm sure a lot of them are going to have King Arthur in them. And this was what was questionable for me, right, was letting this pick through. It really didn't feel like they had anything they drafted in particular as an answer to it. It wasn't the RDO. They put that in the support role. They put Vamana over there instead. You got to make sure that if you're going to let a pick that strong into the game, that you have something in your team to try and slow it down.
I do think credit given is where credit is due to UNG, the circuit. They picked it just for the King Arthur, I do believe. There wasn't crazy amounts of healing unless you're saying the Achilles too.
Right.